third world in the game, Pool, is my personal favourite one, and the use of 6 lanes with the 2 central ones being water lanes was a really interesting touch. It's also a strong contender for having the best unlockable plants overall out of all of the worlds. While I wish there were a few more aquatic plants in the game, it's a lot of fun and the zombie selection is interesting and doesn't make the world feel boring to play. So in this video, I will rank every plant in the world from worst to best, in my opinion, my very humble opinion. I'm Gold Ninja Moustache Spot, and let's get the video off to a smashing start. At the back end of the list is a Threepeater. If you saw my video on Pirate Seas plants regarding the second game, you know that I'm not a fan of the Threepeater and I don't think it's very useful most of the time. Planting 3 pea shooters in 3 lanes is a lot easier, and it's actually cheaper on this game as for some foolish reason, the pea brain developers over at Popcap gave the Threepeater a 325 sun price tag, which frankly just makes the plant unbalanced. The only time I can think of where the plant is actually useful is to get the pools closed achievement, as it means you have some defense for the water lanes without actually planting in them, but otherwise, just don't. Some people might bring up the planting space argument, but I don't see that as an issue at all in this game, so a fairly easy choice for the bottom. 7 is the Tangle Koln. It sucks that this guy is solo, as I think he's a lot of fun, and is a lot more effective compared to in the sequel where his activation time feels like it lasts an entire ice age, and he targets the wrong zombie about 90% of the time. On this game, he's a good substitute for the squash when it comes to taking out bucketheads in the water, as well as possibly snorkel and dolphin rider zombies. He's also useful in the following world too due to his cheap price tag, which is essential due to the lower sun production. He still has his weaknesses such as lack of crowd control and only being able to be used in 2 worlds, but is recommended for many levels in this world. 6 is the Tool Nut. Mr. Tool Nut, aka me in plant form, is pretty much given as a counter to dolphin rider zombies, as he can block them and stop them in their tracks. However, I usually just plant 1 lily pad fairly close to the right of the pool, as while he does jump over the lily, he's virtually defenseless without the dolphin, and this saves on 125 sun. The Tool Nut is still good for situations involving multiple dolphin riders such as Last Stand and Survival, if that's on your version. And is also good for pole vaulters and shines in neutralising pogo zombies, as they keep jumping over plants until they're defeated, so baiting him with a throwaway plant won't work. While I do think that Tool Nut is the worst out of the game's 3 defensive plants due to his sun cost, that's not to say he's bad. He's very usable for pretty much all of the reasons I've already listed. 5th place goes to the Spikeweed. While not nearly as versatile and powerful as he is in the sequel, the Spikeweed is very good for taking out zombonis, and can also act as a decent support plant for primary ones at the back of your lawn. He also may find use as a counter for imps thrown by gargantuas, although the imp can land in any tile, so it can be hard to predict where he will go. Spikeweed can also be upgraded into Spike Rock for 125 sun, which increases his power greatly and can store gargantuas for a long time. The weed's main drawback is that it's completely useless on roof levels, as it can't be planted on flower pots, and while he can instantly kill catapult zombies, this zombie only appears on the roof in adventure mode. Although this strategy can be used in certain Last Stand and Survival levels which take place on flat ground. Number 4 is Torchwood. The Fire Boy is a straight buff for pea shooting plants, igniting them to do double damage. While this is obviously great, this only makes sense to do with multiple pea shooters, as otherwise you can just use the repeater to do the same damage for 75 less sun if you do the maths. However, ignited peas do splash damage. While the area is not particularly large, this is a great way to deal with multiple medium health zombies. Although the Torchwood has no more health than most plants, he has a hidden feature of being able to clear fog. While this is not recommended due to its high sun cost and vulnerability, you can use this to complete the Blind Faith achievement, as it never says anything about using Torchwoods. For a while, he was more powerful than his PVZ2 counterpart due to his splash. While this isn't the case anymore due to the Torchwood's massive buff, the Torchwood still has his uses here. If you really want to turn the demolition level up to 11, pair him with a Gatling Pea. Obviously don't pair him with a Snow Pea, as he thaws the chilling effect and just makes it a regular pea, but for any other peaching plants it's great to use. In 3rd place is Lilypad. Every world in this game has one utility plant that's crucial to beating most levels in the hands of a typical player, and in this case it's Lilypad. For 25 sun you can plant him and then plant another on top of him. While the 25 sun can pose an occasional challenge, planting on the water is a huge benefit to take out zombies in those lanes. However, as I've explained above, it's not mandatory due to the selection of multi-lane plants that can be used to consolidate for the lack of a lily. Moreover, you can use Tangle Koln to take out tougher water zombies, and despite how crap they generally are, Sea Shroom is also a viable option if you want to go for the no lily challenge. Although it's highly advised you only do this in fog, as you don't want to spend 75 extra sun to get one down, but in most cases, yeah, just use the lily pads. Runner-up goes to the Squash. I was really contesting these top two, but in the end, I don't think Squash quite takes the top spot. While he is a very reliable insta-kill that can take out multiple zombies at once, the fact he's borderline busted on PvZ2 makes him look just a tiny bit wimpy here. On that game, he can smash a zombie multiple times and has better range as well as a powerful plant food effect. On the flip side, the way he prioritises zombies behind him can be a nuisance, and something which he's not hindered by on this game as he targets zombies in front of him before. But all in all, Squash is a very versatile plant that shines in every world in the game, can easily destroy zombies if you don't want to use Spikeweeds, and there's something satisfying about seeing him jump in the water to kill a zombie in the pool lanes. And the top spot, we have the Jalapeno.
Why do you love instant kill plants so much? Cherry Bomb, Doomsroom, and now Jalapeno. If you love them so much, why don't you marry them?
Chill. Or in this case, chili. Or moving on. Getting Big Jal in this game was very satisfying as a PvZ2 player, as back then, Jalapeno was a premium plant in that game. The reason why I put Big Jal on the top is due to his ability to burn down an entire lane, and only Gargantuas can survive the explosion. Well, unless Giga Gargantua's on your version. I don't think Jal's quite as good as Cherry Bomb because taking out a whole lane isn't usually as beneficial as taking out a big area, but there are situations where Jal shines brighter than those diamonds Rihanna sang about in 2011, or whatever year it was. Such situations include taking out Zombonis and bobsled zombies, as you can melt the ice trail too, getting rid of ladder zombies, and killing a bungee zombie before you can take a valuable plant. And yes, while he does face stiff competition from the Squash Boy as the top plant in this world, in the end, Big Jal reigns supreme. That is my list on all of the pool plants. Check out the previous editions if you haven't already. Stay tuned for future lists. I'm GMVS, thanks for watching, bye.